Hello again, this is Vildra. I am back. This time I am building a wedding venue because it is time to marry off Lucky, one of Vildra Gaming's sons, and I've always had issues with weddings and making them gold. So here I'm deciding on lot type and lot shape, and I made it generic, and that didn't work. So later I had to go back and change it to lounge because I couldn't pick it when I was going to plan the actual wedding. And I put some lot traits that I thought was good. I put party place and romantic aura and sunny aspect, which seemed nice. This is on the gallery, so you can download it. I re-uploaded it after I changed the trait and added the extra items that I needed for making it a lounge. I had to put in a microphone and a stereo and some bins and bar stools, so it wasn't a big difference. But I'm starting with picking out the most important thing. There needs to be toilets. I shift things around the lot a lot, but I started picking out stuff that I might want to use, just so I wouldn't have to scroll as much in catalog. And I knew that I wanted that toilet, and I knew that I wanted a small cottage or hut with a bed in for possible wedding woohoo for those who want to try for baby immediately. And I knew I wanted a separate building for the actual ceremony, and I also wanted one open gazebo-like thing for the reception. And I've had issues with weddings always. The first time when Vildra Gaming married Father Winter, they didn't even manage to get married until the third time. The first time ran out because there are so many things you need to do for a gold wedding. You have to talk to loads of people and drink and eat and whatnot. And we held the wedding at home, so there were a four-story house with lots of space, and people were everywhere. And I didn't have a bar, so I had to put a bar in the garden, and I just didn't make it in time. The event ended before we got married. And the second time I clicked the wrong venue, and we ended up in some acquaintance's home, which was terrible, and there wasn't a wedding arch there, so we couldn't get married. And the third time I finally made it, but I don't think we made a gold wedding. So it's always been a bother. So I wanted a wedding venue, and I have to say this worked out perfectly. My original plan was that I would use all the 3 different wedding arches, so you could pick which one you wanted to get married at once it was time. But I later decided on one of them after trying them out. And I also wanted dining tables with parasols because I wanted to have a glass roof on the reception gazebo. I later changed that roof and made it not a glass roof because the lighting got really weird midday, and I wanted to be able to take good screenshots at the actual wedding, so I changed it to and covered it up. But I think in hindsight, after having the wedding, which was the best wedding ever I had in Sims, I think I will change it back to the glass roof actually on the gazebo part. You can do so as well if you want to. But I think the covered roof is good on the actual ceremony place. I decided from the beginning that the main colors for this build would be white and pink. And the only other thing I added was greenery from plants. So it is ridiculously white and pink, and very, very romantic. I built this on a 30 by 40 in Newcrest, the Midtown Meadows, and it is up on my gallery, so you can download it. And my origin ID is Vildra, if you want to pick it up. I am very pleased with this build, and it didn't take that long compared to all the other builds I've made. But as you can see, it is an open. This is the gazebo part. And I found all sorts of stuff that I was really happy with. I moved it so many times, so I had to change the stairs. I ended up with pink marble stairs in the end. But there will be a lot of moving around before I found a layout that I was happy with. The good thing with this was that people came to the ceremony building. I actually put the organ from Vampire Pack in it, and the musician I hired played there beautifully, and people were in there for the ceremony, and they actually sat in the benches I put there. And then after that, they were all gathered in the gazebo where the bar and the mixologist and the caterer were. So it was really easy to get gold on the wedding. There was no stress. There was plenty of time to get the drinks you needed and greet all the people you needed to talk to, and cut the wedding cake and whatnot, and flirt with the spouse. And we even had time for some wedding. I included some screenies from the actual wedding at the end with the screenshots. And it was a rainy day, but it was still really lovely. It's the best Sims wedding I have ever had. I have to say that. Most of the... well, the first one was Third Time as a Charm, and then I married Hope in Realm of Magic. But they were more stressful than fun, and I didn't even think of taking screenshots because I was so stressed trying to fulfill all the goals for a gold wedding. But in this place, this was perfect. I'm gonna keep sending my Sims to this place for all the weddings forever. Because this was such a relief for wedding planning, and I have missed this because, well, you can make it you can use one of the common community lots that are already in the game, but I don't want to go to a bar or a nightclub. It doesn't feel right. This is just totally focused on weddings, so there's basically only wedding stuff and romantic stuff here. And I wanted to be able to invite all the family for Lucky, both his parents, all his 5 siblings, and his married sister Hope's husband and kids. And they all came, and they seemed very pleased, and they dressed up properly, and they watched the ceremony. So the only thing that was annoying, because at first I thought maybe I couldn't pick this lot because I never visited it. So I put Lucky and Nalani in their wedding dresses that I picked. She had a lovely white dress and her hair put up, and he had his tails on, and they went here, and he turned up in a tuxedo, and she turned up in a black dress that I don't even own. And I thought, why? But then I thought, well, he looked really good in his tux, so I'm going to let him keep that. And for her, I didn't like it was basically one of the typical wedding dresses, but in black, and it didn't look good on her. So I put her in, I just changed her outfit to a wonderful black and gold CC dress I have, and she had her hair the usual way, and I kind of like that. So it turned out perfectly. I decided after a while that it got too pink, so these trees will be changed into normal green trees, and I'm basically searching the catalog, furnishing catalog for everything that is white or pink and throwing out stuff that I think I might use later. And some of the things were so small, so I just sized them up so I could see properly how they looked. And these trimmed trees with purple balls, I moved them so many times. Every time I moved the house, which I did many times, I had to move those again, and then at some point I changed them into green, and I ended up not using them at all. So I'm sorry, there's a lot of placing of the little trees there that will be totally pointless. Oh, there they go green, because it got too pink. And I felt I lacked greenery, and that was a good choice, I think. And well, the search goes on for stuff to use, and I'm just throwing them out. I think I use half of them maybe, and then after I did the pink and white search for stuff, then I searched the entire catalog for romantic garden stuff, because there's a lot of pretty stuff there. And I knew I wanted a piano. I had to put in a microphone and a stereo as well for the lot traits, lot requirements to be filled. But all in all, I think I ended up with everything you might need. And also I realized, oops, I put the gazebo right where the entrance to the lot is. That is not good. And then I found these poles with little like garlands on them. So I had to pick one of those. I think I ended up with one without lanterns and only white. Moving the toilet so I can move the house, and I lost the stairs, of course. Also, I decided to make it high because why did I do that? There was some reason why I wanted to make the walls high, but it meant I had to have the same height of walls on all things. So the little hut I'm gonna build soonish for the little woohoo bedroom, it also got a very, it looks like almost like a tower because it's very small and has really high walls, but unfortunately you cannot have different height on the walls on the same lot. I think I will soon. At first I tried to make the roof of the gazebo the same as on that little public toilet, but then I changed it to glass, and I really like the glass roof. And I had but you see the shadows it casts on the floor? It made the floor look not so pink. But I actually kind of like the glass roof on the gazebo part because it looks a bit like, I don't know what color it is, but it looks golden, but there is no golden option. So I think it's actually black. And now I had to pick one, and there was one with a lovely pink and white, but it had a blue pole, so I think I decided against it. So I had to pick one, and I picked the white one. I also can't believe I forgot to put in a bin from start. I would have needed that regardless. And all the little trees with the little balls are all misplaced again. So this is the entrance. I decided to put the white flower hedges all around. I very rarely do hedges or fences on lots, but I felt that it needed to be sort of boxed in. I also like the little pond in the next lot. I don't think that lot is buildable at all, but there's a pond with a fishing spot right next to it. So I thought if the wedding got really, really boring, people could go fish. And also it's pretty. You have a pretty view over it. I wish there were more trees there though, but I don't, as I said, I don't think that lot can be built on. And the actual wedding I held here, it was in the evening, so it was kind of dark, and the lights from the houses around were really pretty. You will see that in the screenshots. Later on, that massive pot with flowers is not going to be there. I just made it big so I could see exactly what colors it is. And then at first, as you'll see here, I had the sort of idea of making 3 different ceremony areas with each of the wedding arches. But I don't know why I thought, but I thought maybe you have kind of different taste for each wedding you do, and I've always used the middle one, the rounded one with the flowers. I've never used the Solani one, and I was a bit into using it for this wedding since Lucky is marrying Nalani, the mermaid NPC, but I ended up using the other one, the wooden one. Here I'm building the woohoo place, and it is of course pink and white. And I thought I'd put in a small table with a little lamp and some nice champagne for the newlyweds. I'm going to make it even smaller once I've placed the stuff I wanted. And I basically only have a bed and that little table. So it becomes very small, and then the walls look really high. But it filled its purpose, as you will see in the screenshots later. And there goes the little drink refreshment for them. I think I decided to skip the flowers because the table was too small. And the light. So it's the cleanest, least furnished room I've ever built, I think. And I used the lovely floor. I think it's so hard to use that flooring from Realm of Magic because the pattern gets overwhelming when you can't choose where to put the patterned tiles. But I think it worked here because the room is small. And there were so many wallpapers to choose from. And this pink door is adorable. And I think the windows are from Strangerville, I think. And I haven't used those before either. I found them and when I searched on white and pink, and they're really cute with the white window frames with the pink things inside. I don't know what they're called. And they want some privacy, so I needed curtains. And luckily, those were windows where my favorite curtains work. So that was all good. I think I tried to match this roof at least with the one on the public bathroom. it's a silly little hut. Here I'm figuring out which one it is and putting that there as well. I think I added a small front porch because it looked so sad. Like a tall shed. You can see the floor it doesn't look pink anymore with all that light on it. I don't know. So I did switch that roof out, but I think I might put it back in again because I don't know. I also used the same fencing and the same columns as on the gazebo. It made it look a little less like an ugly little box. But that's all it is, really. The only thing that happens after this is that I move it around, but it doesn't change the interior. And here is the beginning of the ceremony room. I made that glass roof also in the beginning. I think I will keep that not glass though. But at first I wanted to make it pink like the little woohoo hut, but then I decided that no, I want this to be white and I want it to look like plaster or stone or something. And now I'm shifting stuff around again and I'm really not sure what to do about things. I changed my mind a lot, to say the least. I realized the ceremony hall didn't need to be that big, and actually once I started putting stuff into it, I realized that it could be even smaller. And I still had that idea with the 3 different arches, but it got a bit... It didn't feel as thought through. It felt like this is a generic place you can go to get married and do whatever. We cater to everyone. It didn't feel special. And I wanted it to feel special, so I decided just to keep the one to the left in the end because it fit the color scheme the best, I thought. And also this building I wanted to have it white because I wanted to put in the mirrors, the windows that I use for greenhouses a lot. Sadly, they didn't come in any light pink color. I would have loved if they did. And one thing I've always been a bit sad about is that these windows are from romantic garden stuff. They don't come with a door. I would so much want a matching door for it, but there isn't one. There is another that I keep using, and that one I end up with, and it also had a white and pink color. I think I'm gonna find it soon. But I would really, really love a door that goes with the straight edge up there and the arch, and the same as the windows. But I usually use that door. And I also looked to see if I tried to swap out the windows for matching ones later, but it didn't look as good. I don't know if I did it in this video or if I tried it before I re-uploaded it with the proper lot type, but it didn't look good. So those windows stay. I will change the roof and make it white. I had a hard time deciding on which arc to use, but I ended up with this one, which I haven't used for previous weddings, but I kind of like it. I thought it fit. And the benches I think are from romantic garden stuff. And then I wanted to decorate it, and I went through a lot, but I think those ribbons, they weren't that they're kind of discreet, but still they add to the color scheme, so I ended up using those. I have a hard time. I really like these little garlands with little lights on, but the colors didn't work, and I always get that teenage room feel from them, so I find it really hard to use them other than in kids' rooms or teens' rooms, or for Christmas decorations. I didn't exactly know what to do here because it felt a bit too big. Oh, now here comes all the romantic garden stuff. I will not be using all of it. Switching daylight to see what I'm doing. I like these little. I would have preferred if they had slightly lighter pink flowers on them, but this was the best I could do. I didn't want too much stuff in here. I wanted it fairly clean. But I found a lovely little doormat with hearts on. I put it in the woohoo hut. I had a hard time deciding on a rug here because I felt it needed a rug in the middle, and this was the best I could find, but I didn't know what color to use because that one clashes a little with the benches, but it came in many colors that were pinkish. I think maybe traditionally it would have been a red rug, and I found those, it looked like petals, and I thought it was pretty, so I tried to put it in the little love nest, but it only looked messy, and it was, if I sized it down, it was too small, and if it was normal size, it stuck out through the wall. So I skipped that idea, but it would have been lovely to have some petals there. I decided on the darker rug because it was, I thought it matched, but it didn't clash. And then I realized everything was a bit crooked, so I had to move everything and adjust it. And then I could shrink the actual house a little, which I did because everything takes up a lot of space, and there you go. Now it shrunk. Then I realized it was small enough for me to move it, and I wanted a glass roof there too. But then I felt, oh gosh, all these glass roofs, do I really want this? And especially in the ceremony room, I felt it was too bright to get good screenshots, and I think you might want to have nice screenshots when your Sims get married. So I will change it. And soon all the placements will be where they ended up. I ended up like that. No, not like that. Like that. And I had all this stuff that I didn't know what to do with. I kind of like those fun tins. I think I kept one, but not in that spot. I also like this white flowered things. I'm not sure I kept any of them actually. I went back to my trusty big white flowers and narcissus in pink, I think. At some point it looked too, I don't know, like a museum with stuff lined up. So I decided to take some stuff out. I also thought maybe there should be a sitting area for those who don't exactly eat right then, but just want to sit down. So I put in a couple of couches. Oops, misclick. And these are sized up vases that I thought fit the color scheme, so I put them in there. And I forgot to shrink the roof. I think I will be changing the color of the roof soon. I tried a thatched roof. Wasn't exactly what I had in mind. I ended up with those. And I don't know. They don't break the color scheme, but I think I might go back to the glass roof on the gazebo. I wanted some little sitting area for others who might be a bit romantic when they're at a wedding. So I put some cute benches in, and then I had all this other stuff that I wanted to try out, and I realized if I put those there, you can't see the fence, and well, nah. And these light posts, I thought they were good, especially if you have an evening wedding. It gets very dark. And that didn't go well either. Trees. I realized this place needs trees. There might be some clipping of leaves. I think I saw in the ceremony building that there was a little clipping of leaves. You can switch that if it bothers you. I'm usually very bothered with clipping, but I decided here I could live with it. I think I moved that tree in the left corner and put it by the benches later, because that's where I put in the bins I had forgotten to put in. I think I decided to move it closer to the hedge, yes. And then I think I decided to remove one of the hedges and make some plantings instead. Trees make a big difference, and I can't believe it took so long before I realized I must have trees in this place. Almost hid the toilets underneath that big tree, although it's not a very ugly public toilet, so some of them are, and it would have been an eyesore. I think I'm getting close here to finishing this off. Just a little placement here. I think I'm getting rid of one of those now. Yes, and put in the bird bath and the lovely flamingos instead, who fit the color scheme so well. Oh, here, I started a planting here at the corner because I felt, oh, I just want these favorite flowers. And later on I realized that maybe that this seemed a bit, it felt misplaced and random. So I think I will take it out later and instead use the obvious place. Oh, I have such a hard time with the terrain tool. I think it's really difficult to get things to look good. The square one is a bit easier, but it's still hard. And I made a little path to the woohoo place and another one to the loo, and put some light posts out. And then I realized that I should plant flowers here, of course, where there's an obvious planting space. These favorite flowers, they're in every build I do. And I think that and the trees actually makes this place look nice, because it was so bare before. And even the little woohoo hut doesn't look as small and towery with a big tree outside. I could have put some more flowers there. Oh, I forgot to use my favorites, the white ones that climb the wall. How could I forget that? I may have to go and edit that in my own save. But place for another small planting. I also I use the color of stones that is kind of pinkish red, so it wouldn't clash with the buildings. And then I realized that the first planting wasn't that optimal, so I think I removed that completely. Well, we're closing in on the screenshots now, I think, so I will wrap this up. It's on the gallery, and you can download it if you want to. My ID is Vildra. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you liked it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Tonight is a nice atmosphere, new fresh air. We going out, hanging out like we don't care. We are new honey party people, ladies, they better get dressed. A good vibes in our minds, ain't nobody feels real. I'm like a good bad boy, I know you like how it feels. A little spice could be sweet when you know what you need. You are in my space, I hear the sound of your ears. I can't resist your tight dress and your steady red lips. Just come on, say why. Could you promise me you are real? Maybe I'm just a little dry. You're just a dream. What's your name, little angel? Are you devil in disguise? Never mind, doesn't matter when I'm falling for your eyes. In the flashing lights, don't recognize any face. If you want to know, I could find you some space. I leave the worry behind, don't need to think at all. Maybe you should fill your blood with some alcohol. Are you ready for the summer like that brand new healing? See a smile on your face, like if you know what I'm feeling. Thinking, oh, for now, this time gonna be crazy. All the patterns on the mind go down and hazy. Light it up to the sky, let the universe know. Everybody getting high, just to go with the flow. No depression, no, no.